United States is ranked 5th in the world in the number of executions committed between 2007 and 2012, with 220 executions. China is the world leader in capital punishment, having recorded thousands of executions during the same time period. Iran and Saudi Arabia were second and third during the same period, as stated by Mitch and Heather and Isaac Newton in Death Penalty Overview. Not only are criminals sentenced to capital punishment, but hundreds of innocent people have been wrongly convicted and sentenced to death. According to the article, The Case Against the Death Penalty, since 1973, over 140 people have been released from death row in 26 states because of innocence. Nationally, at least one person is exonerated for every 10 that are executed. According to the value of international standards in the campaign for abolition of the death penalty by Salil Shetty, today, 140 countries, which is more than 2/3 of the countries in the world, have outlawed the death penalty, and I would like that number to rise. Today, I would like to encourage you to look at the death penalty from a different perspective. First, I would like to tell you 10 reasons given by Dan Brooke against the death penalty. Then I would like to tell you how the death penalty violates the constitutional ban against cruel and unusual punishment. In the article, Kill the Death Penalty, 10 Arguments Against Capital Punishment by Dan Brooke, Brooke wrote that there are 10 arguments against the death penalty. Those reasons are democracy, barbarism, cost, deterrence, brutalization effect, civilization, innocence, racism, humanity, and social change. Democracy. According to Brooke, in a democracy, not all are at fault, but everyone is responsible, and the current system enforces the citizens are responsible for another fellow citizen's murder. Barbarism. The death penalty is barbaric and an antiquated, regressive, cruel, and unusual punishment. Cost. The death penalty is expensive, and life imprisonment is cheaper. Deterrence. The death penalty doesn't have a deterrent factor and doesn't decrease crime. Brutalization effect. The brutalization effect suggests that when violence is condoned via the death penalty, more violence occurs. Civilization. Civilized countries, along with 18 U.S. states, have banned the death penalty, while governments who maintain it are typically more corrupt. Innocence. Innocent people are on death row and have been put to death. A study shows that 4% of people on death row are innocent. Racism. The death penalty has been applied in racially discriminatory ways. Humanity. The death penalty is inhumane and makes us like the murderers who were sentenced to death. Social change. Countries and states are banning the death penalty, and the U.S. is executing fewer people. As stated in the article, A Reasoned Argument Against Banning Psychologist Involvement in Death Penalty Cases by Stanley Brodsky, Tess Neal, and Michelle Jones, capital punishment violates the human rights of the person sentenced to death. In the article, The Case Against the Death Penalty, it states that the American Civil Liberties Union says that capital punishment is cruel and unusual because it dates back to the early days of penology. It began when slavery and other punishments were in place and has no place in a civilized society like today. The death penalty also denies due process of law and violates the constitutional guarantee of equal protection. The death penalty is subjective and irreversible. If the individual on death row is innocent, the death penalty does not give him or her a chance to have new evidence come up to help in his or her case. In conclusion, I hope I have shone a little light on what the death penalty really is and changed your perspective of it. The death penalty violates human rights and the constitutional ban against cruel and unusual punishment.
It wasn't even 5 minutes.